everybody, and welcome back to another Behind the Barn Doors. Okay, now today, as you can see, I am joined with Farmer Colin.
Hi everybody.
And today we're going to talk to you about what's been going on over the last couple of months on the farm. So take it away, Colin.
So where do you want to begin, Sean? Finished lambing end of April?
Yeah, go from there.
So finished lambing, all the ewes and lambs out in the field by the end of April, and immediately then we're thinking of starting the harvest. So we apply muck to all the ground. We shut up, which means that we keep some stock off some of the fields, allow the grass to grow nice and long, ready to make hay and silage and haylage ready for the winter months when the grass stops growing. The fields are shut up for about 8 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks, maybe 9 weeks, and then we cut the grass. As you can see, this field behind us, this was cut about 2 weeks ago. I made hay crop off this, and this is a process we've been on since middle of June until now. We've been steadily making harvest for all the animals for feed in the winter.
Okay, perfect. So you said that obviously the fields need time in order to grow and things like that for it to be ready to harvest. At what point do you know that it's ready?
It's ready. Okay, so there's a couple of factors. One is quality. The younger you cut the crop, the better quality, the more protein. So if you've got animals that need high protein, such as ewes that are in lamb or cows that are growing or milking, producing milk, you'll cut the grass a little bit sooner, maybe 4 to 6 weeks. So grass is about this long, but it's got lots of leaf, lots of protein in it. For our livestock, we cut some nice and young for the pregnant ewes, but the horses and the cows are not generally producing anything. They're running on, as we call it. So we let the grass grow a lot longer. We create bulk, which they need, but it's actually good. It is good quality, but not at the high protein as the early cut.
Okay, do you want to talk everyone through the process of the harvest itself a little bit? People might not know, they might be a little bit intrigued as to how it all works.
Yeah, sure. So as I said, we make silage, haylage, and we make a lot of hay here at the farm. The hay takes about 4 to 5 days to make, so to dry out fully. Silage is about 48 hours, and haylage is somewhere in between, depending on ground temperatures. So first thing we do is we check after about 6 to 8 weeks, we're checking the crop regularly to see that it's at what stage it's at, whether it's out in head, it's about to come out in head, what quality of silage we want. And then once we see that the crop is right, we've got a small window then to cut the crop, to head it, and to get the contractor in to bale it. So all that needs to be timed. So as I said, for the hay, we need 4 to 5 good sunny days with no chance of rain at all, and that's quite difficult to get this year. Not so much,
yeah,
look how brown it is. My word. So yeah, so we look for the right window. Then we've got to get the contractor, ring the contractor, make sure the contractor's available. Get the contractor comes and mows it for us. We then use a tedder, which I'm sure Sean will show you some images of the tedder working. That spreads the grass out so that with no green at all left in the grass, it's all dry down to a really low dry matter content. And then we row it up, so we put it into nice neat rows. Again, you see some footage of that. And the contractor will come, so yeah, and bale all the bales, and then it's down to us to haul all the bales off the field, get them into the barn. And this is the stage we're at now. So we've made a lot of silage. We've had really good hay crops this year, and we've got some haylage for the horses as well. So really pleasing harvest, really good harvest. It's been dry. Luckily, there's rain earlier on to get the quantity of grass to grow, but we've had a good harvest. Everything's in the barn, all wrapped in the silage bales, and we've finished now. So we're ready to welcome all the guests to the summer. But the animals are well cared for. We know that we've got plenty of fodder in the bank for them for the winter months.
Yeah, it's really reassuring having a good harvest, going into those winter months ahead. That having that, then you're set for the animals, because those years where maybe the harvest might not have been so well, so positive, if the weather hadn't been so good, what would you do if you don't kind of get the crop that you need?
Well, if you don't need to get the crop that you need, first of all, you need to. There's a few options. You can either buy in better quality forage, which is very, very expensive.
Yeah.
You need to supplement the forage with other types of food. So you might buy in a protein pellet or something like to raise the the basic ration. You may buy in straw to bulk the ration out. There's lots of things you can do, but it just adds to the expense, and it's always better to make your own forage because you know what you're giving the animals.
So obviously this summer as such has been quite a standout with how hot it's been. You know, these heat waves have been so extreme for what we're used to here in Wales, well, the UK in general. How has that affected the crop?
Okay, so this year we've had the hot spells, but we've had rain in between the hot spells. So don't get me wrong, the sun is great to make the grass grow, but it needs moisture as well.
Of course.
So if you have a bit of sun and then a little bit of rain, just to keep it going, just to refresh it, then that's the perfect scenario. And this happened, you know, through May. If you remember, you know, start of May was really nice. We had a nice half term, and then there was some rain, and then the half term at the end of May was really, really hot. We had those temperatures of 34, 36 degrees. You know, that really baked the crop. But there was enough content, enough grass cover there to protect the crop and for it to keep growing until we were ready to cut it.
Amazing, yeah. So that's great news that, you know, we've got the crop ready for these winter months ahead. So, you know, you'll be equipped for the animals to get what they need without all that extra expense, you know, having to buy in because we've had a positive
Absolutely, Shani. You know, the harvest is one of the most important times of the year. You know, we want to look after the animals, as all farmers do, as well as we can.
Yeah.
And part of that cycle is producing your own crop on your own land.
Must be so frustrating as a farmer when you can do everything right, and then if the weather doesn't like to cooperate, it can affect it so much.
It's always down to the weather. It's always down to the weather. My word, being a farmer, farmers do spend a lot of time talking about the weather.
Yeah,
but there's a really good reason why they do that.
Yeah. Really great positive harvest for us this year. Any questions you have for Farmer Colin or anything at all, pop them in below. And thank you so much for tuning in, and we will see you next week. Bye!
Bye now, see you soon.